Hello Wolves, so today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 characters that I want to be in Marvel movies. So these characters are characters that I already love on page, and a couple of them are actually on the screen already, but these are the ones that I want to have their own solo movie or to be the main feature of a Marvel movie. Okay, so number 5, we're going to start with Namor. He actually helped Captain America defeat Nazis in the war, and that could be a weird, interesting way to introduce him. I mean, Captain America, Steve doesn't have to know that Namor is this all-powerful Atlantean. He could just be a man that was helping, you know. It's just an interesting way that they could have introduced him instead of just being like, oh wow, by the way, another superhero over there, he may be joining our team next week, introduce yourselves. With the recent release of the Aquaman trailer and the Aquaman film going to be released soon, Namor would be in pretty heavy competition with Jason Momoa at the moment. They have really similar backstories and character traits, I guess, that having them be released or having Namor come out as well as Aquaman would probably be a big mistake on Marvel's part. That doesn't mean I don't want him to have his own movie. They could wait a couple of years, well they'd have to film anyway, they could wait a while, introduce him, old buddy of Steve's, who had no idea he was, you know, a fucking fish. Or they could introduce him as a villain, because he is an anti-villain in the comics. He could unleash bloody Giganto on New York for fun. He also teams up with Dr. Doom at one point, so if you're gonna be introducing Fantastic Four into the MCU, you could also introduce him at the same time, I guess. He could be the big bad of the Fantastic Four at the time. You could have a redeeming arc where he becomes an Avenger, but also has a dark side that wants him to do all these plans and all to, I don't know, destroy New York with Giganto again. I don't know, but whatever his plans are. But there's multiple ways he could be introduced into the Marvel Universe, and even though Aquaman's out at the moment and everyone's going to be swarming towards that because, well, it's Aquaman. No one really gives Aquaman a chance. He helps out X-Men, Avengers and Fantastic Four in the comics, and he also is a bit of an idiot to them at times. I mean, he is the original anti-hero, so he's going to be evil from time to time, as people are. I just think the potential for this movie is huge. I'm a bit annoyed and a bit crusty that Aquaman is out before Namor. That is out before they've even considered his movie, because he is so I don't know whether he is part of the Fox deal or not. I don't know whether Marvel still have the rights to him or not. But regardless, Disney have bought Fox now, so get on it, please. So number 4, She-Hulk. Originally she is the cousin of Bruce, and Bruce, because he's, you know, smart, gives her a blood transfusion when she's extremely close to death's door. And she turns into She-Hulk. Thanks Bruce, best cousin in the world. She-Hulk is an immensely popular comic, and the amount of fans that would come and watch this, even if it's a train wreck, is huge. And this is a huge goldmine for Marvel and the MCU to add here, because we've never heard anything about Bruce's family. Not anything groundbreaking. We've heard some stuff about his dad and stuff, but we've never heard that he has a cousin and that she may be very ill at the moment and that he has to go on blood transfusion. Obviously we haven't heard that, but hopefully, fingers crossed, soon we will hear that. He gets like a phone call and he has to like go on the Quinjet really quickly to like wherever she lives. Yeah, just sorry guys, saving the world and all, but just got a text, gotta go save my cousin, blood transfusion, you know the drill, bye. She's also a pretty cool lawyer in the comics, and it could be a way to give a nod that Daredevil and her know each other, that like she could be in the MCU and she could say, oh, I've got a friend in Hell's Kitchen that can help with this. Just a nod that they are aware of the Defenders. Because Tony has not said anything about that, and you would think that he'd know about it, especially seeing as he kept tabs on Spider-Man. Okay, and number 3, T23. She was really badass in Logan, that little girl. I don't know if they're gonna keep her if they introduce the X-Men. I don't know why I did that. If they introduce the X-Men into the MCU, I think go for it. Keep the same little girl because she was cool. Could potentially take over from Wolverine, and that could be a nod that Wolverine is in that universe. Even if he's not there anymore, she could say that he looked after him, etc, etc. If they don't want to replace Hugh Jackman, because I don't think he wants to do it anymore. I don't blame him because he's been in it for how long? How long has he been? In a look. 17 years. That explains why he jacked it in. Hugh Jackman jacked it in. She could also have been trained in the Red Room, because you could link in that her mother and the whole cloning experiment was part of Hydra. She could have been trained by a Black Widow who could turn out to be Natasha, and it's always just a link her in and some of them already know her. And okay, so number 2, Bucky Barnes. The potential for a Bucky Barnes movie is ginormous. Sebastian Stan is nice, so you'll have all the fangirls there anyway, and you'll have loyal fans of the Winter Soldier there too. In comics, he takes up the mantle of Captain America and Steve steps down, and well, we all know Chris Evans' contract is gone and he doesn't want to come back and play Captain America. Oh, stop me before I start crying. And Sebastian Stan still, thank God, has a couple more movies in his contract. Let's hope he renews it. Come on now, beat 17 years, you can do it. We don't need a backstory in this. There's no point in having a backstory. We've had his backstory in all of the Captain America films. We don't need it again. We could have him come to terms with his life, him helping the Avengers, becoming a better man, building a new life for himself. We could have loads of things that just make us want to fall in love with Bucky again. And number 1, Miss Marvel. Kamala Khan is amazing. She's basically every fangirl ever just rolled into one. She is a huge super fan of the Avengers. She is relatable to every awkward teenager in the world. She just so happens to have superhuman powers. In the first couple of issues, she deals with Wolverine, Loki, and finds a best friend in a ginormous dog called Lockjaw, who is the dog from the Inhumans, which could be a way to bring him back in if you want to bring him back in. I mean, the TV show was terrible, but if they really want to give it another shot and get better hair CGI, that's the weirdest thing I've ever said, then this could be a way to link him in because of Lockjaw, because he is cute. And it also gives the Avengers much needed diversity. She could be Peter's classmate, like passing each other in the halls, never acknowledging each other, but being really close on the battlefield. Battlefield sounds weird to say when I'm talking about kids. On the very fun, not dangerous at all superhero world. Anyway, so that's my 5 picks for Marvel characters that deserve their own film. I hope you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, give it a thumbs down if you didn't, your opinion. Comment down below who you think deserves their own Marvel MCU film, and click on some videos that may appear here. Subscribe. I think it's there. Could be there. I don't know what I'm actually doing that to, and it's making me feel a bit uncomfortable. And I will see you next time. Bye, little wolves.